Welcome to the Automation Secrets course. I'm so excited to work with you. And we're going to dive right in by starting with, well, what is AI really? AI is just data with a task. So normally when we think about tasks, we think, well, a person does a task, or maybe a robot does a task. But what if some information on a screen could do a task? What if a computer could do a task for you? In a self-driving car, the computer inside of the car is actually doing the task of the driving. Well, what if the tasks that a computer does were the same tasks that you do inside of your business? Well, that's AI. It's just data with a task. Now, before we kind of dive into exactly how are we going to help you automate 5, 10, 15, 40 hours per week, we should talk about, well, the letter of the law in AI and the spirit of the law with AI. The letter of the law with AI is a whole bunch of data and matrices and fancy math that you don't really need to know about. The way that it works is you have thousands and millions of data points in a database. Then it goes through all sorts of matrices. Then a prediction is made. Then the computer may do something. This doesn't seem like it's very easy to me. So let's talk about the spirit of AI. The spirit of AI is that you do a task. But what happens with AI is the computer does the task. That way, you can do not boring stuff. That's what we're trying to do. All we're trying to do is eliminate the boring stuff that you do day in and day out every single week. This is the stuff that has dread time associated with it. Dread time is one of my favorite terms. It's when you know you have to do something and you spend time procrastinating on it. That way you won't have to do it. And most of the time, at least with me, I spend more time procrastinating than I actually would to do the task. So what if we could eliminate all of that time and we could eliminate all of the boring stuff? That way your business runs predictably and reliably every single day because a computer did the stuff that you don't like to do. So to recap here, the letter of the law AI is a lot of fancy math. It's a lot of data stored in databases that goes through hundreds or thousands of different matrices that change the numbers, and then they output it into a big function where then the computer makes a prediction about what's going to happen. And then maybe the computer does something based off of whatever other code that you've written. But the spirit of the law AI says that right now, you and I and everybody else in the world does a lot of boring stuff. What if we could give all of that boring stuff to a computer so that you can do not boring stuff? And so that's what we're going to dive into in the next lesson. We're going to start with what is an API, and then we're going to dive into exactly how you can do this without writing a single line of code. It's as easy as the click of a button.